Welcome to SIROCCO Jubilee, a celebration of a quarter century of the SIROCCO conference. I am Nicola Santoro.
I am Paola
and we will walk with you through the visual history of the first 24 editions.
SIROCCO was born in Ottawa, Canada, sharing its birthplace with its two older siblings, Bozzi and Disc.
The first SIROCCO was held at Carton, organized by us and Bernard Mans. We were looking a bit different then.
It was a small but intense affair, focusing on topics that were not covered at the time by Bozzi and Disc. We had a barbecue and a soccer match, starting the link between SIROCCO and soccer.
While the name of the conference was there from the start, the acronym was different. Initially, it was SICC, but for the North Americans, the idea of a SIC conference was not very attractive.
So there was an intense debate of what an appropriate acronym should be. And at the end, we converged on the very nice one suggested by Shumel Sachs, SIROCCO.
And the rest is history. The second SIROCCO was held in Olympia, in the original site of the Olympic Games, which we did reenact. Indeed, we were staying in the official residence of the game committee.
Hi. The most memorable event that I remember from SIROCCO conferences happened during SIROCCO number 2, which was held in 1995 in Greece at the ancient site of Olympia. We were located in little bungalows situated in a park. After the banquet, we celebrated the 40th birthday of Shai Kuten. We stayed long at night, we had several drinks, and finally after midnight we retired to our bungalows. The bed in my bedroom was on little wheels, like those old hospital beds. In the middle of the night, I woke up and I realized that that the bed together with me is rolling quite fast to the other side of the room. First I thought that I am still dreaming or that I'm imagining something, maybe because of these drinks during the celebration, but no, this was real. It was an earthquake. I rushed out of the bungalow. There were already many people outside in their pajamas, frightened as I was. Luckily nobody was injured, but the earthquake was quite strong, at least for my Canadian standards. To tell you an example, there was a hotel in the nearby town of Patra. The top floor of it collapsed. So as you can see, SIROCCO can offer not only scientific excitement.
The third SIROCCO was held in the beautiful Certosa di Pontignano, where the Chianti wine is produced and was consumed by us every day, lunch and dinner. We had intense discussions, interleaved with yoga classes.
SIROCCO 6 was held in Lacanau, in a golf club in the Bordeaux region. We had plenty of opportunities to taste the Bordeaux wine, which inspired many lively research discussion and successful over-problem sessions in the evenings. SIROCCO in L'Aquila had many interesting, memorable features.
The first was the venue where the talks were taking place, the beautiful Cattedra Bernardiniana.
Memorable was also the place where we had lunch every day, in the best restaurant of L'Aquila.
The bus that took us to dinner was told to display a sign, SIROCCO 2000 with space in between. In Italian, space is spazio. And this is what they did.
SIROCCO 2001, organized in Val de Núria, Catalonia. Francesco Melas and me were co-chairing the colloquium. The conference took place in a remote resort, completely isolated in the mountain, only accessible by a rack railway. I knew that things could turn bad when we received a weird submission. Despite all my attempts, the PC members rejected the paper. Big mistake. We arrived to Val de Núria, a very pleasant place indeed, at least apparently. I noticed a strange participant, but after all, does it look weirder than any other computer scientist? The night went fine, and was followed by a beautiful day, too beautiful maybe. An helicopter accident occurred, and the engine crashed precisely on the train line, resulting in isolating us from the rest of the world. We were stuck in the middle of the mountain with all accesses to civilization blocked. The conference carried on, but anxiety was rising. When the strange participant invited all other participants to the lobby, things turned mad. He wanted to demonstrate how crazy we were to reject his paper on graph exploration. He argued for hours, using all kinds of arguments, until he went outside for performing an experimental study in the labyrinth in front of the hotel. Well, luckily enough, his algorithm was probably wrong. He probably wanders around for hours in the labyrinth during that night. Well, at least we haven't seen him in the morning. And actually, we haven't seen him anymore during the remaining of the conference. After 48 hours, the train line was fixed and we could leave Val de Núria safely. Everything eventually went fine, and I was probably worrying for nothing. On the other hand, I noticed today a photo hanging in the lobby of a hotel. Please don't tell me that you rejected a submission on graph exploration.
SIROCCO 10 was in Umea, when many of us experienced for the first time the midnight sun. SIROCCO 12 was held in Mont Saint-Michel. Incredibly, conference, accommodation and meals were all taking place inside the island, an amazing experience for everybody. In the continuing link between Sirocco and soccer, the semi-final of the World Cup took place in those days, Italy against Germany, splitting the Sirocco participants evenly. And Italy won.
For the first and only time in Sirocco history, the PC chairs were treated with the recognition they deserved.
You know you keep a man from getting old. Baby, it's you. Baby, it's you. You, baby.
And the 14th edition of Sirocco in Castiglioncello was actually co-located with fun with algorithms, and it was indeed lots of fun, lot of dancing and lot of music.
In absence of a European or World Soccer tournament to watch, we had our own local tournament.
In Piran, the SIROCCO Prize for Innovation in Distributed Computing was awarded for the first time.
To reach the banquet place, we had an unexpected, fast, at times scary, ride over big waves. Against expectations, we landed safely.
Left your mark in a distant past, but somehow it's all gone now. Good things can never last. You are down for the third time, and you spent your change. Memories of your prime make life seem so strange.
Hello, this is Magnus. I have some interesting tidbits about SIROCCO 2012 in Reykjavik, Iceland. Now, the most interesting story about this event is probably the conference dinner. So we planned to have it after the excursion on the second day, and well, there was the question of finding a place, but what complicated things was that that day was precisely the evening of the final match of the European Championship in soccer. And it was Italy against Spain, and of course there were both Italians and Spaniards in the audience, so we had to do something to accommodate them. And I looked all over the place. No, there were no good options for restaurants that would allow us to actually watch the TV. So then I thought about catering, and then we had to find a venue again. And no, I couldn't find any venues that would both offer catering and have a TV available. So the fallback was, I held it at my place. It's not a huge place, but with good weather, you can actually squeeze in all 50 audience. We had to move out some of the sofas in order to fit people in, but ultimately it was quite comfortable. People could watch as much TV as they wanted. We also have a piano, so I happened to recruit my colleague at the department, Imre Vigfusson, who was a very fine piano player. Guy Evan accompanied him on a recorder. Moti Medina was good at singing, and also a Heger student of Pierre Fregno. So it was a great fun. It worked surprisingly well, and at least it gives me the opportunity to tell people when you're stuck at a dinner table at a conference dinner somewhere with people you don't know, I can at least tell them the story when I organized the conference dinner in my place.
It was a nice edition. A valuable group of computer scientists met in Ischia. They worked strongly during the work sessions. They relaxed during the breaks. And thanks to the fair weather, the nice place and the good food, they also relaxed. But the peak of SIROCCO 2013 was reached when the scientists went to the spa. The 20th edition of SIROCCO was a really good edition. People worked, exchanged ideas, and made friends in a relaxing and placement framework.
In 2014, for the first time, SIROCCO moved away from Europe. It was a truly memorable experience.
SIROCCO 24 was held in Porquerolles, an island of Marseille surrounded by a magnificent blue sea.
This involved a lot of boat trips to get to the island. Some of the participants decided they had enough. They jumped to the sea to swim to the shore. The program involved many interesting and diverse talks. The best one was presented by Magnus, who for the first time in the history of SIROCCO gave a talk without any slides using only his voice. However, the real star of the evening was a rooster. Everybody rushed to take a selfie with the rooster.
SIROCCO occupies a special place within distributed computing. From the very start, it has always been a place where the wind of innovation blows.
Well, it's where establishment does not count as much. It's where being important is not important.
It is a place where doing good research, having a great time, in a relaxing and inviting surrounding are coincidental events.
A great mathematician from Cuba who recently passed away used to say that researchers can be divided into bongo positive, which are the ones who respond to the bongo sound, and so they are relaxed and feel the music, and the bongo negative, which are stiff, self-important, and obviously they influence the environment where they are. Now, without any doubt, SIROCCO is a bongo positive conference. Let's keep it this way for at least the next 25 years.